Hi, everyone. How are you all today? I'm Regina, and you are you. And so, welcome to Trends Voices of Love and Kindness. And today we've got a really special show. I've brought Laura West back, and we're going to have a little conversation for a little bit. And we're just going to have more fun today. It's so good to see her in the green room. We'll bring you on in a minute, sweetie. Um and oh my gosh, everything is so wonderful. So first off, let's get to business. Let's do business. And so this is always like my weak part. We're brought to you by Raised Rose Coffee. And let's brand it up a little bit. There we go. There it is. That's my brand. And God, that looks good on the full screen, don't you think? Whoa. And anyway, so rapidly moving along, let's get rid of this other thing. Where'd it go? Oh, I got to go back to banners. And then let's do the subscribe, get notified, and hit the like button. We like likes, and life is good. Life is good. And so let's see if we can like organically build this channel up a little bit. And I know I need to start doing more like advertising a little bit, send out a notification. But oh my stars, with Christmas coming on, and like this is my month to make money in the coffee business. And because surprisingly enough, a lot of people give coffee for Christmas, and I think it's like an ideal gift, because for those people who drink coffee, it's perfect because they can use it. And like when you give a quality coffee like mine, it's memorable. And often they want more. And so you can, it's a great gift. And another item that I also carry and is the AeroPresses. There's 3 different AeroPresses now, and I don't have any of them here at the house. But no, I don't have any of them except the original one that I use out in my kitchen that I just made my cup of coffee with. That was why I was late, because I just got to have a cup of coffee. I roasted a new Kenya. I got a new Kenya last week, and I roasted it. This is one of the first roasts. I am liking it more and more every day. It also came with a new Ethiopian, and I just fell in love with that Ethiopian coffee from the very first start. And the Kenya, I had to give it a little more time to degas or something. I was not crazy about it and thinking, oh boy, here we go, because it's been a long time since we've had any decent Kenyans. And gosh, I was kind of like leery, and then my nose itches. And then all of a sudden here, yesterday, I just brought this new little bag home, and yesterday was the first time I had coffee out of it, and it was fabulous. And so then I had another cup earlier today, and it was fabulous. And this one's tasting pretty darn good. I needed to cool off a little bit before I can say it's fabulous too. But we'll be checking in on it all through the show here. I make my coffee here at home almost exclusively with an AeroPress. I'm by myself. The AeroPress makes 1 cup, and it can either be an espresso shot or it can, there's all these different things you can do with it. And so it opens up parameters for me. I'm pretty locked into what I do, but I like a good strong cup of coffee, and I drink it black, and I very seldom ever put anything in it. And I'm really, really happy. It just makes it a nice, smooth cup of coffee. So yeah, I got a little bit dressed up, put this old dress on, and thought, oh, I should look decent. I don't know if I do. I'm always kind of um, self-deprecating, and so anyway, I since Lara's down there waiting, and I haven't even turned the comments on that I can see, and so who all do we got here? We got Francie, and we got Zen Floater, and Eva from New Zealand. Hi, Eva. Hi, Francie. Hi, Squirrel. And yeah, so we are golden here. And so let's bring Lara in and see how she's doing and see if I can keep this whole thing going. Let me shut off some of this stuff before I get too far though, and I can't figure it out. There we go. And here we go. Add to stage. Hey, can we hear you? Oh, wonderful. Now, is that a traditional kind of dress?
Um, uh, Bonjour, hello. It's traditional for me. This is my gypsy look. I think this is my Earth Mother look.
Uh-huh. Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, so I'm of course indigenous kind of things.
Right, right. That's what I thought.
No, it's not a regalia of any kind I'm wearing. Oh, this is very significant to me.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Can't hear me very good. Let's see if I
Oh, I
can
got
turn
these
my
buds in. I can turn it up a little bit. I didn't put
yeah.
my hearing aids in. I just put the buds in.
Oh yeah.
So I got you now.
Yeah. Hi. No, it's not a regalia. I have a beaded piece that I'm wearing because it reminds me that we're all indigenous to somewhere.
Uh-huh.
We're all in the circle together. And the clothes I'm wearing are sort of my feeling like a bit of the Earth Mother connection.
Excellent.
And,
Excellent.
in keeping with what you had said you kind of wanted to talk about. So, yeah, so I'm feeling
Well, I
feeling
do
good.
want to talk about it because I think that it's really important for us to be cognizant of what's going on with our planet right now.
Before you get going on this, because I know we'll get deep into something like real quick, I don't see names of who's in the chats and all that, but whoever's out there, I just want to say bonjour, hello, I love you. It's great to see you here. And to regards to you look amazing. Hi, Eva.
And
Francie, hello, Francie. Yeah, I feel adorable. I've been excited like
and
a silly
and
girl to get on here.
and Zen Floater was
Zen, hi Zen.
um,
I'll do this.
important in bringing you back.
To all
Yeah,
of you
yeah.
here, and all those who
He's
might show up, a heart out to you.
okay. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Tell me about the fires.
The fires. Oh yes, you want to know about the fires in
Yeah,
northern
how
Ontario?
much of Canada burned up? Was it similar to what happened in Australia the year before? Are
To
there
the
any boreal forests left or what?
to, to the east of us, way over by the Atlantic Ocean and in Nova Scotia, and you know, they were burning up. They had
Right.
they had heat waves and fires that started. It was what do they keep saying? You know, it's uh, totally off the charts. You know, they haven't the hottest or on record. The fires they were having, some of them were threatening cities and towns. And then if you go just west, BC, same thing. So weather extremes, right?
Right.
And in in the prairies, same thing. Kind of what's a little bit weird, you know, even in Quebec and southern Ontario, which is, you know, so really to the and even to the north of us, unseasonably warm weather, dry weather, no rain, high winds. You know, those weather patterns have changed and they're locking in extreme weather conditions. And strangely, here where I am in Northern Ontario, which is kind of a little bit like being in the center of Canada,
Uh-huh.
we had a very kind of normal, maybe below normal fire season.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, we didn't have the kind of fires that we normally have here. Although we had just the right amounts of rain at the right times to keep the fires from becoming too bad. We had a fire, what do you call it? They did a fire ban in late May and July for a little while, but then they lifted it and it was good for the rest of the year. And to be honest, we didn't really go through the fire extremes like we had all
Well,
around.
did you get a bunch of the smoke there where you're at though, and have bad air quality?
Absolutely.
I
If
mean,
there
we
was
were getting
any,
it clear down here in Washington State. I mean, mostly we were coming down from British Columbia, but here where we're at, the winds are generally in the summertime from a southwesterly flow, and we still have it come back and around and get
it's
uh
eerie. We had winds coming from the east for a number of weeks, and the way they measure the effects of the smoke and how it affects the breathing air quality.
uh-huh.
Thunder Bay experienced extreme uh, conditions of that. Like it looked like we were in a fog. And then from the from the west later on in the summer, the same thing. The weather's coming from predominantly from the northwest. So the wind brought again smoke and difficult breathing. What, wherever they call that. So we didn't have the fires, but we had all the effects of the fires
Right,
from
right,
an air quality point of view.
right.
So
Yeah,
all
here in like the 1st of August when they start harvesting all the wheat, you know, um, it just gets unbreathable. It's hard to go out and walk the dog or anything because there are days when it's dangerous to be outside.
I will say one thing though, kind of we had weather in the form of rain and thunderclouds that were quite majestic. Uh, some pretty torrential downpours.
Yeah.
And depending on where you were in Northern Ontario, like we went camping in right around early September, and we drove into uh, we didn't even know because we didn't check the weather, but we apparently drove into uh, a tornado warning,
Oh, my
which is
stars.
in and of itself, that's really unusual for
Yeah.
this area where I live. So I know that south of us in the US and the mid US, severe tornadoes persist late into the season and start early now. So we seem to be that kind of weather seems to be hitting us more often than it used to. Used to be maybe once every 20 years you would hear of a little downdraft that would cause some trouble. Now we have actual tornado warnings, which is crazy.
Well, yeah, and so like hell, there's nothing left to burn up here in the American West. I say that, and that's not necessarily true, but we've had our share of fires here in the American West, and so like I know that what happens when there's nothing left to burn. It's like they started having forest fires in the Amazon now,
Yeah.
and it was just a few weeks ago it was 130 degrees down that direction. At the Taylor Swift concert, it got up to 137, I think they said. Um, Eva was telling me it was super hot there in New Zealand just a few weeks ago. I don't know if it still is. Maybe she can give us
Yeah.
a shout out. And we've had those super hot domes, 120 degrees in the southern part of the Yukon Territory a couple, 2, 3 years ago. And there's no place that's not going to be affected by this weather. What I kind of am trying to build up to is like in that book, Braiding Sweetgrass, she starts talking about reciprocity with this planet. The European way is to just take and take and take from our natural resources, and the indigenous way is to always give back, and we're all equal as to the animals and the forest and the things that we eat. And is there a way that we can get back to having that reciprocity to kind of curtail this? What can you and I do, and everybody can do, without getting too far off from our comfort zone? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I, I I turned on after we were chatting this morning. I was just rummaging around on Facebook and stopped on a podcast by this amazing Nish fella, and uh, he was talking about that thing you're talking about, reciprocity. He was talking about relationships.
Uh-huh.
And, a Western view of relationships tends to be that people, humans, the two-leggeds, that's us. We're sort of at the top there, and everybody else we don't think of in a human kind of way. And I think to speak to what you're talking about, and it's something that I feel dearly about, is our relationship to all things, not just the two-leggeds. We could
Exactly.
we could have we if we are all to survive on this planet, we need to kind of reconsider our relationship to all life. And all life is not just two-leggeds. It's the trees. It's the water. Without water, there can be no life. We have a relationship with them. So when you speak about the spirit of reciprocity, as I understand it, it seems to me that we need to bring that into a better balance.
Well, that's so true because the way I connect with everything is my belief in that creator, that higher power, God, if you will,
Yeah,
is everything.
yeah. It's the rocks,
It's
it's the water.
absolutely everything.
Mother
It's
Earth is
nature.
alive
Yeah.
just like we are.
and
And
and so you know everything is God, and so we're all connected. I mean, you're God, I'm God, everybody's God, even a squirrel is
yeah,
God. And what could be simpler than that is treat everything with love and kindness.
exactly. And that's what the Hollow Bones podcast was talking about. Our uh, love should be inclusive of everything if it's to have true meaning. And there's no one above or one below anybody. And we treat the earth and everything other than us as two-leggeds as being there to serve us only. But you know what? The truth is, all those other things, they were here a lot longer than us. And
Right.
and we really can't live without them. So if we exclude them from the equation and we just take what we need, we're missing the boat. Love should be inclusive of all. Well, that's why I wore this today, the circle.
Oh, cool.
It has the four colors in it, and it embolizes like the sun, the moon, the earth, all life, and all having a place in that circle of life. And well, it's just what my heart really
Well,
has come to embrace. You know, um, what can we do as individuals to uh, really make for a change? We can open our hearts with love to all life. And, you know, there's a lot to that topic, right? It's can easily get weighted down by all kinds of discussions that take us apart. We have different views on everything. And the thing is, we just need to find a
well,
way.
well, to speak to that to just a second.
Yeah.
I was reading in some book. I'm not even sure which one it was. I think it was a old Asian fellow. Wasn't Confucius or Lao Tzu,
Hmm.
but of that era.
Hmm.
And I think that he was saying that God is nature, and human nature is still nature.
Yeah.
And so, while we might not agree with something, we still have to respect the fact that it's God, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's a struggle. It is a struggle to not want to, you know,
Yeah.
harm or do ill to somebody that is um, dead set against me. But the truth of it is, the only way that we're ever going to get them to change their minds is by loving them anyway.
We do. We have to. There
Yeah,
needs to be a starting point for finding together in all of this rather than just
right.
things that separate us. And
Yeah, it's a strange, I don't know. I look at it as being a strange concept because I wasn't raised that way.
well, me too, right? I
Right.
I
And
I grew up with an Ojibwe. I married an Ojibwe woman. And before I met her, I grew up in, uh, I'll just use the phrase that Western ideology kind of uh, brought up sort of family. Our two cultures kind of clashed when I first met her, and on many occasions we had a lot of difficulty finding a medium ground with each other because it was foreign to me the way she thought.
Uh-huh.
Well, we found a way though because we loved each other enough to listen to each other. And right there, Eva has it. Humans are still
Right.
obsessed with money. See, here in Canada, there's a lot of talk about, these what do you, credits for I forget what they call it, uh, uh, environmental credits. These corporations are trading them like money, and even if they don't do anything particularly, to change the environment in a good way, they can, and somebody else did, they can buy credits from somebody else, and somehow that makes the thing they're doing okay now because they have this. It's all about money. It's not about truly changing the environment.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
I don't
Because
know.
it doesn't do any good, does it?
I was thinking today, I can't for the life of me understand how we're all so obsessed with the money behind all this. It seems to take us away from dealing with the problem.
So here's a deal. It doesn't cost much to be vegan. And oh my stars.
Well, the little things that we can do that, like hog farms and cattle farms, and the things that they create, the methane gas, yet the environmental impact they have
Yeah.
where they are.
But
Uh,
one thing about I want to stick up for cows for a second.
oh yeah,
Well, I hate the way farming has gone, especially with livestock, and these big factory farms. I don't see
I
them as
I
being
love my beef cattle, by the way.
exactly, but you know, back in the 40s and 30s and whatnot in the other century, there was all these small little farms all over your area, and down into Wisconsin, Minnesota, 100 acres in all these old homesteads of 160 acres. There was a couple of ladies a couple 2 3 years ago that I followed on Facebook, and they would always take these tours through Wisconsin countryside and take pictures of the old farms and whatnot and post them. And I just love that because to me that's when agriculture was best, because there wasn't all the debt and it wasn't all about money. It was about a way of life, and it was reasonable. Now we're getting so populated and these farms are so unhealthy for the animals that we are what we eat. And when we eat those animals that are raised in that unhealthy, it does not help us.
Well, it's back to that reciprocity you were talking about. It's about how balanced is that relationship with those animals. We're trying to use those specific animals to feed the world, but the truth is there's millions of or thousands of other animals that we could have a little more balance with.
Yeah,
Like we bring cattle and we displace every other animal to
right.
have the land to graze them on.
Well,
We
that's where I was starting to stick up for cows, is because I was going to talk very briefly about the bison,
yeah.
and how we displaced all those to bring in those longhorn, which has got this horrible meat. Um, so
The
I
bell rings. We're already at a half an hour, aren't we? We didn't even get started.
yeah. Oh well, it's a good it's a good um it's a good topic. I mean, we could go on and on about this,
Yeah.
but there's no point in it. What we got to do is figure out those little things where we can give back to the planet. So whether we go vegan or we stay as a carnivore or omnivore, such as myself, is to make sure that we buy from those small farms. That's one thing that I've gotten into in my last couple of years of doing the farmers markets and whatnot, as I've gone and to a lot of these vegetable stands.
So what are you doing then when you do that? You're supporting diversity rather than exclusivity of one particular crop only. You're encouraging
Exactly.
individuals to produce locally things that are needed locally, and it's a more positive relationship
Oh,
when it comes to being there on that land in that area where you are. So, like, I love that we do have lots of little things that individually we can do. And rather than getting caught up in just what the corporations are, and all that, we just have to take responsibility for ourselves and make those little changes, even however small they are.
yeah, and the other thing that we is some of us can do. It's a little late in my life, is to buy small pieces of acreage and create spaces.
Well, there you go. Maybe at my age, I'm probably not going to go and tie myself to a tree, but I actually know people who would do that.
Yeah,
Um, I have friends who are young and they have the energy of youth and they're able to do that. And they do some of them. I was at a environmental Northern Ontario environmental conference. Just a bunch of like-minded people like you and I and everyone here in this circle. We all talked about the same things we're talking about here. And
right.
but locally, what are they doing in Northern Ontario? Well, they're trying to bring a pipeline through, a new one, so that they can ship the oil that's being refined and other products through to the population centers of Southern Ontario. They're trying to bring a hydro line, which will really just allow the electrical companies to continue doing the environmentally unfriendly things they're doing. They'll provide them with outlets to run the power. We need them to survive, right? In this comfort we're living. So it's a double-edged sword. I can only tell you
Right.
this. We sat for 2 weeks, 2 days in that conference, and we had endless debates about it all, but there was some action that people were taking. They brought awareness to each other that they all kind of have the same thing in mind. And you said it at the beginning. They love all things. They love the earth. They want us to, so they speak up. They're younger than me, almost all of them. So they're busy. I I felt like I was just sort of supporting them, but I go and walk for the water, and I'm not, you know, I give back to the water by sharing love with the water. When I walk for the water, I'm acknowledging the water. So it's something I feel called to do. People here in this chat and who would watch this, I'm sure they have something they feel specifically called to bring to attention to try and make change from. So I think a platform like this to discuss it is a good thing. Yeah,
Well, that's what we're here for, is to keep
yeah.
discussions going about stuff. And this is what, episode 4. And so,
Eva says,
you know,
"Do we need them hydro lines or them pipelines?"
well,
We could
yeah,
find
that's
another
the
way.
question about energy, and do we need those big companies? And more I'm thinking, no, not really. Here in Washington State, they're putting solar panels on roofs like crazy, and the
Mhm.
government's paying for them, and they're paying off.
They
I mean,
want
they're
windmills. They want to put windmills on all the mountains around here to bring power into the city. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing either, but I know that a lot of people have opinions about it.
well, I remember. I mean, we have a ton of windmills around here, and so I used to be kind of like, not around my house. I don't want to see them. But now I kind of have changed my tune,
Well, that's
um, because they might do some damage. There's a lot of natural resources that go into building those towers and whatnot,
manufacturing.
and
The
they
industrial age, right?
yeah, and they keep changing out rotors to bigger rotors and whatnot, and they're hell on the highways, and there's a lot to be said against them, but they make a lot of power. If we're gonna move away from the carbon producing um, power sources, we kind of need windmills and solar panels, and it's going to take a combination. There's some people who go, oh my God, Regina, we're just going to go with nuclear. I don't see nuclear as a good thing. And I mean, it gets safer, I guess, but I don't know. I am not sold on it at all. And so there's so many different ways to go, and some are less desirable than others for sure.
It's
But
just
I
like
think to keep going in the way we're going isn't desirable at all, with these energy companies being fortified by our tax dollars, and still doing everything they can to destroy our planet.
uh, I think you're right. It's got to come back to some more basic, simple thing that drives us individually, and even the corporations and the governments. Something has to come into the equation that isn't about money, a more basic truth. I think I'll go back to it. It's love. It's the relationship, like the the water, the trees, the minerals in the earth, the the weather, the wind. We're just taking those and consuming them, but we're not considering the effect. I think you started off at the beginning sort of hinting about um, the earth, and it's I think it reacts to all the things that we do as people on it. It's not retaliating. It simply tries to bring things back in balance. So more extreme weather, more
Right.
extreme movements of the earth, because it's just a natural process.
I never thought about that as the extreme weather trying to bring things back into balance.
In a
That's
way, that's how
interesting.
I feel about it, you know.
Uh-huh.
Um, and
Interesting.
it's not that um, the Earth doesn't. I don't believe that the Earth responds vindictively or angrily at us. I think it just has to find a balance, and so it's we seem to be intent on continuing to do things that put us out of balance.
Right. That makes
Indi-
sense to me.
Individually, we can be a vegan. We can send our prayers to the water. We can hug a tree. We can uh, change how we consume things individually. We can support local instead of the big corporations. We can, whatever way a person envisions that might tend to bring us back into balance is probably collectively a good thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's my philosophy.
Well, I don't disagree with you, and that's why you come on here. I mean, it is it's wonderful to have you today. You
Oh,
know,
well,
I
I'm so
enjoy our
happy to be here.
conversations, particularly when we get into this stuff, because
Yeah.
um, our perspective is just slightly different and whatnot,
Mhm.
but we are pretty aligned, I think, and I enjoy the different perspectives because you make me think about stuff that because I'm not usually one to worry about balance much since I can't walk. I need a pit. I was walking down the sidewalk the other day, and God, I haven't had a drink in 30 some odd years, and and I know the lady I was walking with. We were it was late at night. We couldn't see where our feet were going, and we
Mhm.
were staggering back and forth on the sidewalk.
Like two
You
drunk
know,
old ladies.
yeah, like two drunk old women. It was really kind of funny. And anyway, oh my God, I tweaked my knee, and anyway, all energy strives for balance.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
that's cool. I had
okay.
never thought
So
about that either.
we have some amazing people that are with us here in this little circle.
We are
Eva,
not
all of
many.
you, we,
We are not many, but we are mighty.
yeah, yeah.
And so, I'm really kind of trying to get started wrapping it up.
Yes, I
And
was just gonna
and
say, I kind of like popped in with a flurry and I swung around and everything. I'm gonna do a little, what do you call, click my
pirouette.
heels 3 times. I'm gonna click my heels 3 times, and you can say bye bye. I'll say bye bye to you all, and next time we can
Okay,
continue
so
discussion. How
so
does that
what
sound?
what you're saying is you're leaving me?
I think so, yeah, because I know
Okay.
you're already way
Okay.
over your time limit. You know that?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I want to
Yeah, yeah.
say, Bumma P, love you all that are on
Hey,
the
love
chats.
you.
I'll hope
We'll
to
catch
read
you
them
here
after.
again soon.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. So there we go. We've like wrapped this show up or we're in the process of it now. And oh gosh, we've been going for 45 minutes and God, it really went fast, didn't it? Holy smokes. I've been trying to like keep these shows at a half hour or so. And it just works out. And so if we go a little bit long, it's like a gift, anyway anyway, I love you guys and thank you so much for supporting my channel and being here today. I think that we should try and get Lara to come back another day and continue this discussion. It went pretty fast. I'll probably be by myself next week, but we'll see. We'll see what I can come up with. You just never know. You just never know. And like I say, thank you so much. I really do need to go roast some coffee now. And so yeah, I got this crazy business to keep working on. And so yeah, Lara was like talking to me in the private chat, and she should go hit the comments button, but she's gone now. Anyway, bye-bye. I love you all, and we will see you next week. Let's get the heck out of here. Let's see if I can figure out how to do my outro and wrap this all up. What kind of music do we want today? A little daydreaming kind of thing. And then we'll do some, I like the blue wave. And so, hey, have a good week, and we will see you next week. Love you all, and bye-bye.